What's going on, everybody? JR Nightmare. We are back, and finally, I have obtained the hardest figure out there to find, the classified Cobra Viper. Real quick, I just want to talk about the state of G.I. Joe right now, and especially the classified line. Now, you're like me, you're a product of the 80s. G.I. Joe was just a big brand for us. Now, I probably have owned every single kind of incarnation of the Joes at some point. Not every single figure, of course, but every one I've been a part of. I just love the Joes. My very first army build was the Vipers. I had them as a kid. I had multiples of those guys. And the 25th anniversary, that's when I went ham on those because I think those are just phenomenal figures. The Viper is part of, it's my favorite G.I. Joe in general. I just love that army build. The concept of them, they're just like troopers. I mean, they're generic troopers, but they were just fascinating to me. And that's what really drove me into the Joes. Snake Eyes, of course, that's everybody's fan favorite. Just the whole brand in general. Now, I was one of the vocal ones about getting a whole 6-inch line. I'm sure there's a whole bunch more out there, but I was one of those ones that I just wanted to see them done in a 6-inch format. And here we are years later, and they have killed it. Hasbro's done a tremendous job as far as the sculpts. Articulation is just phenomenal with these guys. They've done it justice, in my opinion. Now, we'll talk about initially when the wave hit. It was hard to find, but I was able to obtain the very first wave in one swoop. My Walmart down the road had them and snagged them all up. Even got my son an extra Snake Eyes. And ever since then, I've been picking them up here and there. Now, as far as, there's seems to be like not enough supply for the demand. Now, you can still get a lot of these figures on pre-order. You can order a lot of them as far as, the main line release ones. They've also had a few exclusives on Amazon. There was one on Hasbro Pulse for the Cobra Commander. I do have all those, but the biggest issue for this line is the Cobra Island. It has been just a grind to get these things. And there's still some people who don't own any of the Cobra Islands. They are Target exclusives, and for some reason, these ones, it's been the hardest figure I've ever had to track down. Now, the very first Cobra Island, I got all those ones right away, except for Baroness. Now, we lined up in line when the first release happened. There was like about 6 of us in line. And the night before that, I had got a trooper, and another person had got a trooper. So I was like, all right, that's cool. So we get down there. There was only 2 beachheads on pegs. So I got one. The guy before me, he got one. And the lady went back to check the stock, came back with the trooper. So we all got troopers. We all got the roadblock. That was it for the beachheads. And then they didn't even have a single Baroness. They said they didn't get that. They checked the codes and all that stuff. So for months and months and months, there was no Baroness. I didn't get one until maybe the end of December. My buddy out here hooked me up with one, so I was grateful for that. And this dude's also been able to get me a couple of Cobra Troopers. So definitely the community has been looking out. That's a cool thing about the Joe community. We are looking out. And then there are some that are taking advantage of it because the Cobra Island, they've gone up in price, especially the second market. It's insane what they go for. And that very first wave, I have still to this day not seen on pegs anymore. That's it. And I don't understand it at all. And now we're going to get to the new ones. Now, the very first Cobra Island, there's 4 figures. That's tough right there. And you would think Hasbro, Target, I don't know who's making decisions on which one gets it. You would think they would learn. They did not. The only thing they did was, now there's 2 figures in this wave. So Firefly, I had just got lucky and grabbed him. He wasn't even in toy aisle. He was in the NECA area just sitting there. So I was like, I have to get this. Still have not seen him on pegs. This Viper, this has been my ultimate figure to come out since they announced the line. I was like, what are they going to do with it? How is it going to look? It looks phenomenal. Man, I'm blown away by how this thing looks. It is super, super clean. Now, I have not been able to track this thing down until today, where I had to go to 4 different Targets. And it was like this kind of mystery hunt because each Target led me to another Target. They said they have 3 here. They said they have 3. So I finally just called the one and I was like, hey, I'm looking for these Vipers. Do you have any? And the lady was super nice, probably the nicest worker I've ever come across. And she put me on this list because there were so many people calling about this thing. So she put me on a list and I was like, oh, great. I know how this is going to go. But luckily enough, I got the text, drove right in there right away. And I was like just ecstatic because I finally got the figure that I've been wanting in this line. And it delivered. Well, as far as distribution, it is not delivered. So yeah, that was the main figure I wanted. And then I had all these aspirations, dreams about, army building them. I was like, oh, I'm going to get like 10, 15, whatever, until I heard those words, Cobra Island. Ugh, it's just been a nightmare to get these things. So, and shout out to the people who've got these things because it's an awesome figure. And then also, people, I encourage you to this day, how I always say beat the scalpers. The only way you're also going to beat them is not buying from them. I mean, these dudes are jacking this thing. This is a $20 figure, and it's going for $100 and something, $90. Don't do it. Please don't do it. Be patient. Now, Hasbro has done a make right as far as the last wave goes with the Cobra Troopers, these regular ones. They are going to be doing them again in a different paint format. They're taking away the rifle. They're taking away the goggles. I don't understand that aspect of it. Why punish the rest of the community? Because there's people who don't have that. And why strip them down of, their gear and stuff? It makes no sense to me. But nonetheless, they are coming back out. Now, we still don't know about Beachhead or Baroness. I mean, Baroness and Beachhead are critical characters to the line. And I don't understand why that announcement has been made about another restock. I mean, repaint. I don't know, but people have got to get these characters. I mean, these are critical characters for the line. So, that being said, let's talk about things in the future, because there's going to be exclusives. I mean, it just is how it is. I don't like it, but they have to do it. How about now, Hasbro, Target, how about leaving the pre-order open for a week, a couple of days, a day at least enough to get people able to pre-order it? Because if you have it to where we're only going to pre-order for about 100, and then the bots just eat that up. I mean, we've seen it with shoes, we've seen it with the consoles, and now action figures, because these dudes are making profit off it. So how about leaving the pre-order open, and then what number you're going to hit? I mean, I don't understand why it's that difficult, because obviously some of the employees are getting these figures as well. So when they get the stock in, they push them to the side. They'll tell you they don't have any because they don't want to deal with it. And they're like, hey, we can make a penny out these things, so let's do it. So why not have it open to where it's fair game for people to get those? And that way the secondary market is not flooded with them, because I'm not going to buy it for $90. Are you kidding me? I look like a fool. I'm a fool just for trying to go to different Targets to find this damn thing. But yeah, so that's the suggestion. Another thing is, how about not an army builder for an exclusive? Because people army build. I mean, you can see it because Stormtroopers are not in stock ever. Why? Because people want multiples of that. Look at what Hasbro's done with the last couple of figures that they've been exclusives. You had the Mandalorian stuff; those were exclusive. The Trooper builders, and then the 501st Ahsoka, that was another exclusive. But hopefully those will get redone down the line. But yeah, how about not making a Trooper an exclusive? And there's rumors that Major Blood and the Alley Viper will be a Cobra Island exclusive. Ugh, just those 2 words together. Hopefully, it gets a lot easier. Maybe they'll do right and, make these things more obtainable. I don't know. And the other problem is the peg when you go to Target, it's one peg. That's it. So, and they're only pretty much stocking 6 at a time. So one store only gets like one case. That's, 6 figures. Good luck to anybody trying to get them. But hopefully that down the line they'll open these back up and we'll all have a fair shot at it. So yeah, if they can just open the pre-order up, I mean, make it available for a week. How about just one figure per store, for an exclusive? Because they do it with Amazon, they do it with Walgreens. The Target gets a whole wave, and then they get two. Then you get an army build. Ugh, that's just a recipe for disaster. So another thought is do something like what Power Rangers Lightning has done. Now, what they've done is they've made the packaging the variant, the exclusive, I should say, where it was the Spectrum, where the packaging was a different kind of foil coloring. Why not do that? That way, the figures themselves can be, released all sorts of different websites or, retailers. That would make it a lot easier. You still have your exclusive thing, which is the box. There's a lot of people that still collect, just mock stuff. So why not do that as well? I mean, that saved me a lot of trouble because I saw the Spectrum, one of the Power Rangers, and I was like, I kind of want to get the regular release. And I was like, I'm just after the figures anyways. What am I doing? So I just snagged those up. So that's another option. But like I said, hopefully Hasbro will do right again. I mean, I'm hoping that the Vipers just make it into some kind of re-release. Maybe they'll restock more because it seems like some stores are getting the stock, but you either have to be right down there in the morning picking them up or just lucky enough because they stopped the Pop Finder thing. Pretty much a lot of these dudes have just stopped talking with you now. They're just like, hey, do you got Vipers? Like, nah, we don't even carry those. They're not even trying anymore. But every once in a while you get a lucky, you get one guy that's, helpful or a lady that's helpful. Because everybody wants these Joes. I mean, it's a fun line. It's got the collecting game in a frenzy right now because everybody's trying to track them down. You got people who are legit just trying to collect them and legit just trying to flip them. So I'm trying to get as many as I can, but the luck that I'm having with these things, it's just not going to happen until some kind of re-release happens. So, well, until then, guys, hope you guys the best of luck trying to track these things down because this figure's so good. I'm so happy with it. All right, guys, peace.